After watching Leo's demonstration and hearing him talk about his original cocktail, I've gained a whole new perspective. With both inspiration and technique being key ingredients, it turns out that a cocktail can be likened to a piece of art.
It's often the case that the more we learn about something, the more we appreciate it. And our first two guests tonight are here to help us gain a deeper understanding of the local wine and spirits industry. Please welcome Nelson Chow, President of Hong Kong Sommelier Association, and Henry Ho, President of Hong Kong Wine and Spirits Association. Welcome to Vibrant Hong Kong.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Since the removal of all duty-related customs and administrative controls in 2008, Hong Kong has developed into a wine trading and distribution center for the Asia-Pacific region. With that in mind, when talking about the wine and spirits industry, most people associate it with distribution and trading. So, Henry, what other aspects are there to this sector?
Well, when we talk about the wine industry, it essentially encompasses every step from the production of wine to its consumption and enjoyment by consumers. The beginning of the entire chain starts with cultivation, grape growing, and winemaking. To put it simply, these are trade and marketing services, exhibition services, branding, logistic and warehouse, catering, even auction. Recently, wine education has also gained popularity.
The complexity and spectrum is beyond my imagination and expectation.
I mean, for sure. Now, my first question is for Nelson, who is the first professional sommelier in Hong Kong. So he's the authority on everything wine-related. Could you begin by telling us what the job of a sommelier entails? And are employment opportunities limited to the restaurant setting?
Okay, let me clarify a little bit. Our sommelier is not just only for wine, it's for all beverages, even sometimes including water, coffee, tea, even cigar is included in our scope of work. But the most important things about our task, we have 5 points. First is how to select proper products for the restaurant operation or sometimes even for club or for hotels. Then secondary is how to handle them, because each different wines have their own characteristic or lifestyle, and that's why we need to know how to properly handle all these products. Third is all the knowledge and skill. Knowledge in knowing all the beverages and skill in how to do that, how to serve, how to react. And then afterward is the marketing. Wine marketing or beverages marketing is really important nowadays as well, because if you know how to do that, you can really easy to sell your things. And last but not least is really the food and wine matching or food and beverages matching nowadays. A lot of people understand about food and wine matching a bit already, but tea and food pairing is now starting very popular as well. And this is within our scope of work as well. And if you're talking about opportunity in career, that actually is multi. Nowadays, we have opened a lot of opportunity for sommelier to work with, including in clubs, hotel, even restaurant groups. Nowadays, they want to have their own sommelier group to facilitate all the necessity. But for a good sommelier, they must begin with the food and beverage operation, like service, like everything first. Then if they equip with the proper beverage knowledge, that they can grow and groom to be a proper sommelier.
Wow, so I mean, like, the knowledge that you need is actually very, very diverse, and you have to continue to keep up with the trends and new products. You know, wow, that's pretty amazing to hear.
Right. Now, speaking of sommeliers, Nelson, I'm very curious. Is the number of sommeliers per capita high in Hong Kong? And is this statistic considered an indicator in the F&B industry?
No, actually, our number is still small compared with the other European country, like most of the winemaking country, because as Henry said, we don't have any wine production in Hong Kong. And in the European country, most of them, they equip sommelier in the winery as well. That's why they have higher portion of sommelier available, and of course they need that as well. But growing with our China mainland, they have much more winery building up, much more essential wine production is really coming up. That's why the requirement of sommelier is really getting more and more.
So we really have to expand the resources we have to build
For
upon
sure.
it.
I mean, like Henry, could you tell us a bit about the red wine trading in Hong Kong? For example, what are the main import and export destinations? What are the trends and market changes? And how much has the export volume increased in the recent years?
France has always accounted for the largest share in the Hong Kong imported wine, and exceeding more than 50% of the total import value in 2023, followed by Australia and Italy. While the major export destinations are mainland China, Singapore, Taiwan, and Macau, and so on.
I see. So, I mean, what role does Hong Kong play in the Asian or even, in the near future, could get back on track in the global wine and spirits market?
We are very good wine hub, actually. If you talk about the wine industry, we have the easy accessibility all around East Asia and as well as the Oceanic regions. Everybody can come easily to Hong Kong. That's why you see that Win Expo is really coming back to Hong Kong permanently. And because of that, you can see a lot of different people coming back together and trading together and making the connection, all these things, and plus services backing up all this wine trading, which is really crucial and important. And we have the infrastructure, we have everything is ready for the people coming in. And that's why people are eager to coming to Hong Kong to get the access to mainland, to all surrounding Asian countries.
So we have that geographical advantage, and we're
Absolutely.
also expecting a good volume of visitors as well.
So, I mean, Hong Kong holds many wine and spirits industry expos every year.
Yep.
Some are targeted at consumers, while others, like Vin Expo Asia, which will be held in late May, is for industry insiders. So, Henry, what significance does holding these events in our city have on the industry?
The convention and exhibition services industry has always made significant contribution to Hong Kong's economy. Before the epidemic, the convention and exhibition industry brought over $6 million revenue to Hong Kong annually. We in Hong Kong warmly welcome Win Expo Asia to hold its event in Hong Kong again. Hong Kong has become a venue where the wine and spirit industry collides between the East and the West.
So now, vice versa, I wonder, does the local industry also send representatives to visit international wine and spirit trade fairs around the world? And if so, which ones do they usually go to?
Before the pandemic, local buyers were willing to attend the overseas exhibition. Well-known like Win Expo in France, as well as ProWine in Germany, and Fenderfin in Spain. Some organizers even offer that free traveling packages.
That's really great to know. I'd love to participate.
Yes, I mean, the expos are great platforms in terms of increasing visibility for all the brands. And apart from the expos, there are also many wine and spirits competitions held around the world that people like bartenders and sommeliers can participate in. Now, Nelson, in your opinion, what impact do these contests have on the industry, and what's the situation like in Hong Kong?
Well, actually, all this competition, particularly for, like you said, the sommelier competition or the bartending competition, is letting the professions getting a chance to really broaden their knowledge and broaden their horizon with all the skill set and everything. Like, for instance, is a very good merchandise for the people to promote their product as well at the same times. But the most important part among all this connection is to groom all the whole industry awareness concerned about the new coming products, like wine. Every year you have different vintage coming out. Like beverages, you always can create something new in the market. That's why it's a kind of continuous study, but also pushing the people to have the most updated value to sell to their end user, the customer.
Well, I mean, to learn about all the global trends really helps put things into international perspective. Now, speaking of trends, what are some of the latest regional and global alcohol consumption trends?
Well, to me, actually, is the right correction because I just come back from Bordeaux and we're having the same study as well. It's not just among our Asia, but in globally, young generation is drinking less wine nowadays. They are really drinking a bit more in white spirit. That's been our baijiu. It's interesting. But at the same time, more people concerned about the organic wine, more people concerned about the natural wine, and for the environmental wise and for the health issue wise, that's what they are really looking into. And in wine aspect, we still see a growth, a natural, gentle growth per year, but the spirit is coming up a little bit faster. But I think a lot of people know about the whiskey trend been wearing out for the past few years. But at the same time, our Chinese baijiu is really coming up a bit as well.
It's interesting to know that there are green practices even in alcohol consumption trends.
Yeah.
It is.
And I mean, like, I know that more and more Hong Kongers are traveling north for leisure recently, and our local F&B industry has taken quite a hit as a result. So is the situation similar with our local bars, Henry?
I believe Hong Kong bar industry, along with the F&B industry, has affected similarly. I hope the situation are temporary, and once the market adjusts, everyone will find a way out.
I'm sure we will.
Yeah. I mean, as you've mentioned earlier, while Hong Kong isn't a major producer of wine or spirits, we've been seeing small batches of locally produced alcoholic beverages, such as draft beer, gin, which I've had the pleasure to try, and even sake pop up in recent years. Now, what are your thoughts on this phenomenon, and is there a market for these products? Nelson?
To me, I think Hong Kong is very vibrant city. Everybody eager to try new things all the time. Even though, as echo your work, people are moving a little bit northward, but they will come back. And don't forget that the statistics tell us for the first quarter of retail consumption, alcohol and cigarettes getting 14% growth year by year. I mean that the consumption is still there. But instead of buying it in the restaurant, in the hotel, the retail shops getting very, very high turnover. And you can easily go into any convenience store or supermarkets. You get a huge selection of wine. Time before you don't.
Well, that's great to know. Thank you so much to Henry and Nelson for your professional insights into the latest developments in Hong Kong's wine and spirits industry. And we hope that the upcoming VinExpo Asia will bring more business opportunities to the sector in Hong Kong.
When we come back, we'll be chatting with local designer and entrepreneur Bertrand Mack about the rise of his luxury brand. But first, here are some highlights from the third edition of International Healthcare Week, coordinated by HKTDC.